everyone. Happy Monday. It is Monday, right? I think it's Monday. It's been a busy day. So I am Melissa, as you guys know, queen of Melissa's Musings and real estate agent extraordinaire. I had a really important lesson I learned this morning, and it was thanks to my good old husband, John. So I woke up this morning and I had a jam-packed day. It was amazing. I ended up having a wonderful day. But it was one of those days where it was constant. It was back to back. And so yesterday I set myself up for success in the fact that I worked like 10 hours yesterday. It was supposed to be my day off, to set myself up for success today because John is actually out of town. So unfortunately, John's grandfather passed away last week. And he headed out last night to, the wake and the funeral and all of the familial responsibilities. And I sadly was unable to go with him, but I am excited to be here and holding down the fort. So I woke up this morning and my stomach was not feeling well. And I immediately catapulted myself into a state of overwhelm. I woke up, felt really sick right off the bat, had my first meeting within an hour, and was like, okay, I was in a negative space. So John called me to connect first thing this morning, check in. He was all cheery, bright. Hey babe, how's it going? And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm feeling really anxious. I've got a jam-packed day, my stomach's bothering me, I haven't eaten yet, blah, blah. And what was really powerful was in that moment, John encouraged me to shift. Hey, Andrea, thanks for joining. You're the first one here, I think. So he checked me really directly, very interruptedly, and it was very powerful. Did I want to hear it? No. My first reaction was like, F you, bro. Thanks and no thanks. I was really just like, no, screw you. But what was really powerful, this is the feedback that he gave me, and it was pretty direct and it was pretty on point, and it was, babe, I love you, and you get to create and source the exact day that you want. Right now, you're creating and sourcing chaos and anxiety and stress, and I encourage you to shift and source something that's fun, exciting, and you've got a jam-packed day that's going to be awesome. I encourage you to shift. And I didn't want to hear it at the time, so I was like, yeah, that's nice, I gotta go. I was like, I don't want to talk to you right now. You're not helping me at all. You're not being supportive, and I'm gonna go. And I hung up the phone, and I sat there for about a minute, and I knew he was correct. I knew 1,000% that if I was to navigate down the pathway that I was propelling myself, that I would have absolutely sourced chaos and anxiety and stress. And so I appreciate the feedback. And even though I was very much F you in the moment, taking a step back and really just bringing myself up, sometimes it really helps to take that big picture in. Hi peeps, thanks for watching. Hey Lawrence, thanks for joining in. Lucy, I love you cuz. So sometimes removing yourself from that granular, oh my goodness, I'm having a meltdown, and being able to really bring yourself up to a big picture can be so powerful. So in that moment, I gave myself 2 minutes to go through a variety of emotions, right? Anger, annoyance, how dare he give me that feedback? Anger, frustration, my stomach was hurting, so I was feeling anxious. So all of these things. And then as those, moved through me, I started to feel excited about my day. I started to feel like he was 100% on point and correct. I started to feel empowered, recognizing the power that I have in sourcing a creation of my day. And within less than 5 minutes, I was calling John back. Not only to acknowledge him and thank him for the feedback, but to apologize for the way that I had acted on the phone. I know, I've done a lot of growing, you guys. It's massive. So, and I was then able to have a really successful and amazing and beautiful, full day. It was fantastic. I started off my day with a meeting, followed by breakfast, followed by a listing appointment, followed by closing photos, followed by 6 showings that took 4 hours, and I was able to create massive progress. I created massive magic today in my day. Not only with how many clients I was able to serve, and it's amazing too, I'm sure you guys feel this, when you've got a boom, 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 back-to-back day, it's like you are doing everything to become maximum efficiency, right? You're trying to achieve like maximum everything. So I was making phone calls as I drove to my appointments. I was responding to texts as I was walking to showings. I was making it work. And I created a both and in all the things. I was able to navigate my day completely while taking care of myself, while visiting the bathroom when needed, while handling all of my appointments. So I was able to source a really fabulous and beautiful day. Now, I will acknowledge that at times during the day, I sourced chaos. And I distinctly know when these moments occurred because it's very crystal clear to me where I went wrong. Or no, I don't believe in wrong or right, where I went sideways in my shift, okay? And so the first was I did not leave enough time in between two of my appointments. So I had been at a client's closing photos, and then I did have enough time to drive to my next appointment, but it was like just enough time. Usually I'll leave myself like a 15-minute buffer to like truly have enough time and be prompt and early, which is what I love to do. And so I showed up, or I got into my car, and I typed in the address in the GPS, and I had plenty of time to get there, and the address did not pop up on the GPS. And I was like, what? Because it's a new development. And I sat there and I searched for like 5 minutes, and I literally started to sweat. Sweat poured down my face because as this 5 minutes is passing, I realized that's my 5 minutes of buffer time. And leaders are early, so I am committed to being early and on time. So I knew that already I was stretching my time. And I was like, oh. And so I was like trying to think quick and whatever, and I was figuring it out. And I could not find the address. Like, it was not happening. It kept routing me to Florida. And I was like, I'm not going to freaking Florida, people. I am not en route on a 50-hour journey. So what I ended up doing was I called the client. And first of all, acknowledged my breakdown with her. I said, Val, I am so sorry. Fully acknowledged the fact that I'm going to be running 5 minutes late. I've been in my car for 10 minutes, and it's absolutely no excuse. However, I can't find your address, so what do you tell clients, or what do you tell friends and family when they're trying to, get to your house? And she was able to help me navigate. And while I was on my way, I had already let her know that I was going to be 5 minutes late. But me liking to be on time, I was like, no worries, I'm going to make up time on my drive. I'm a total Jersey driver, you guys. So I was driving, and I got clocked at 95 on the highway. Sorry, Mom. Don't hate me, Yaya. And the cop was super nice. I got away with a warning because I was committed to sourcing excitement, energy, and a beautiful day, and that's what I ended up having. And I do feel like part of the reason that and it may not be the case, but I do feel like part of the reason that the cop pulled me over was to be able to talk to me. So I'm just going to go with that because honestly, he was behind me. So I realized I was speeding like right away. He pulled out in back of me and I was like, oh no. And I recognized where I had fallen short. I had basically created this space for myself. The client was totally fine with the fact that I was running 5 minutes late. I had let her know more than a half an hour in advance because I was en route for over 30 minutes on my drive. And I was so committed because I'm attached, right, to my commitment of getting there on time. I was so overcommitted to getting there on time that I was not necessarily keeping my big picture in mind. So I was putting others at risk in my speeding. I was putting myself at risk with my speeding. And I put myself at risk of getting a pricey ticket. So he pulled out behind me, and I immediately lowered my speed limit from about 95 to about 65. I was like, shoot, he's totally going to pull me over. I knew it right away. And then it was odd because he drove behind me for like a solid 5 minutes, which I'm guessing he was running my plates. Then it was odd because, okay, we're driving, he's driving behind me, and then he pulls next to me, and we're driving down the highway for a good like 2 minutes as he's looking over and smiling at me. And I was like, uh-oh, like he's definitely gonna pull me over. And so he did pull me over after the smiling odd situation. He moved back behind me and then put on his sirens and lights and pulled over. And I totally knew it was coming. Like I already had my blinker on before he got behind me. I was like, oh, it's coming. I gotta move over. And I was completely respectful when I got pulled over. I said, I'm so sorry, officer. Like, I completely acknowledged that I was not paying attention and all the things. And he was super friendly. Like I said, I think he wanted to chat with yours truly. But it was such a valuable lesson learned because I had set myself up for success. I had even opened lines of communication with my client. She was expecting me to arrive 5 minutes late. I was set up for success. and I shot myself in the foot, basically. I was like all gung-ho, and I was like, I'm going to still get there on time. I've got 30 minutes to make up a drive. And it was the wrong choice. And so I was so easily able today to really see the massive shift that I took. Andrea, exactly. Lesson learned. Kevin, yes, 100%. Lesson learned on it, because it was a really powerful lesson to be given the feedback from John so dramatically and directly, and like in such kindness. Like, I know that his ultimate goal was not to be like, babe, you're like tripping. No, it was like, Melissa, I love you so much, and right now you're sourcing an incredibly anxiety-ridden day, and I know you're better than this, so I encourage you to shift. And it was incredibly loving, and it was 100% supportive. And I'm so grateful for it, because I had an amazing day. I had a kick-ass day. Like, I crushed it for my clients today without my other half in business and life. So I encourage you guys, you can shift like that. You can shift at any point of the day. Because as soon as I got pulled over, let me tell you, I was like, as soon as I got over to the sideline, I was like, oh no, I'm going to get a massive ticket. And, you know, when you speed like a good amount, like I've heard of some very dramatic stories of some people getting arrested and things. And I didn't think I was going to like catapult into that. But, you know, getting pulled over is nerve-wracking. And so it was such a valuable lesson in how powerful it was for me to shift instantaneously with John. And then how easy it was to shift back into my natural habits on the ride to, you know, like, I'm committed. I'm going to make up the drive. I'll still be on time. I'll exceed her expectations. Even though she's expecting me 5 minutes late and is totally cool with it, I'm going to show up on time. And so it was very valuable for me to be able to learn that that wasn't necessary for me, that I had set myself up for success, and only because I was shifting back into that panic and that chaos that I sourced that. So very valuable lessons that I learned today. Thank you guys for listening in. I encourage you, if you are in a massive meltdown, like I was in this morning, know that you have the power to shift. It is as simple as you saying so and making a decision and making a conscious shift. So I woke up a massive grumpy pants with a big stomach ache, and I shifted into a fabulous day. So fabulous, in fact, that the cop felt the need to pull me over to talk to my cute ass. So that's the kind of day that I had, you guys. Hey, Jen, I miss you and I love you. Thanks for joining in and watching. So, Andrea, absolutely, the shift is key. Hey, Michael, thanks for joining in. There's a bunch of you joining in right now as I'm about to sign off. Brett, Kevin, thank you guys for watching. But I love you. Thank you always for watching. I just got back to my desk for the very first time all day since about 6 a.m. Oh, my computer screen just went off. So I am about to dive in, and it's going to be an amazing evening. So that's what I'm going to do. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Oh, experiencing technical difficulties. Finish button is